What if I told you that your biggest breakthroughs, the career leap, the fitness goal, the life you dream about, aren't blocked by your skills, but by something hidden beneath your awareness? Most people think success is all about hard work, willpower, and waking up at 5 in the morning. But here's the truth. 95% of your daily actions are controlled by your subconscious mind, and if it's programmed with doubt, fear, or limitation, no amount of hard work will get you past the ceiling it creates. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover how to reprogram your subconscious for peak performance, using proven techniques from top mind training pioneers. No fluff, just methods that silently shape elite athletes, top entrepreneurs, and unstoppable performers. These aren't mindset hacks. They're the invisible levers used by the world's most successful people to turn potential into results. Stay with me, because once you understand how to flip this internal switch, you won't just perform better, you'll start to feel unstoppable. Have you ever made a decision so quickly, so instinctively, that you couldn't explain why, but it turned out to be exactly right? Or maybe you've had the opposite, sabotaging yourself without even knowing it. That wasn't luck, and it wasn't random. That was your subconscious mind at work. You see, most people believe we're in control of our thoughts, our decisions, and our performance. But here's a hard truth. Science suggests that only about 5% of our cognitive activity is conscious. The other 95%, it's being driven by a powerful force operating silently in the background, our subconscious. Psychologist Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." Think of the mind like an iceberg. The tip you see above the water, that's your conscious mind. But what lies beneath? The vast unseen mass. That's the subconscious. It stores your habits, your beliefs, your fears, and your automatic responses. The key to peak performance, whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, or just someone chasing personal growth, is not working harder. It's learning to align your subconscious with your goals. Because once your subconscious mind believes in something, it will work day and night to make it real, without you even realizing it. So how do you start shaping it intentionally? That's where the real transformation begins. Let's move into the first step. How to start tapping into your subconscious and reshaping it from the inside out. It started with a mirror. Every morning, Emily, an overworked marketing manager, would stare at her tired reflection and mumble, "I'm not good enough for this promotion." For months, she gave her best, but somehow always fell short. Deadlines slipped, confidence crumbled, and her belief became a reality. Until one day, she changed just one line. "I am capable, I am valuable, I am ready." She repeated it every morning for 21 days, and something began to shift. It wasn't magic, it was mental conditioning. Emily was rewiring her subconscious, using the language it understands best, repetition and emotion. This is the hidden power of affirmations. When spoken with conviction, they bypass the conscious mind and start feeding your subconscious with a new identity. But affirmations are just the beginning. Pair them with visualization, and the effect multiplies. In fact, a 2004 study from the Cleveland Clinic found that people who mentally practiced lifting weights increased muscle strength by 13.5% without ever picking up a dumbbell. That's because the brain doesn't always distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's real. When you visualize yourself succeeding, clearly, emotionally, repeatedly, your subconscious starts to accept it as truth. And then, it starts adjusting your actions, decisions, and confidence to match that vision. Emily didn't just get the promotion, she became the kind of person who expected it. So if affirmations and visualization can shape your beliefs, how do you go even deeper into the roots of your inner programming? That's where the next level comes in. Practical, science-backed techniques to transform your subconscious from within. Stay with me. It was 4 in the morning, and Michael, a once confident athlete, sat alone in a silent room. His career had hit a wall, not physically, but mentally. He could train harder, but something inside kept holding him back. So instead of more reps, he tried something radical. He sat still and breathed. 10 minutes a day, no phone, no noise, just mindfulness meditation. At first it felt useless, but within weeks, his racing thoughts slowed, his inner critic quieted down, and for the first time in months he felt a strange new clarity. What Michael didn't know was, he was creating a doorway from the overthinking conscious mind to the more receptive subconscious. You see, the subconscious doesn't respond to logic. It responds to feeling, repetition, and focused attention. Meditation helps clear the mental clutter, making it easier to plant new beliefs deep in the subconscious soil. But meditation is just one tool. There's also hypnotherapy, once seen as fringe, now backed by studies from Harvard and Stanford. Under guided relaxation, the brain enters a theta state, a deeply suggestible mode where limiting beliefs can be reprogrammed and replaced. And then there's NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, a system that teaches you how to use language, visual cues, and mental associations to talk to your subconscious in its own native tongue. It's like learning to type the right commands into a machine and watching it do what it was built for. Michael didn't change who he was. He simply stopped feeding the inner resistance and started feeding the inner champion. But here's the real question. What happens when people actually apply these tools consistently? Do they just feel better? Or do they begin to perform like the top 1%? Let's look at some real-world transformations. From elite athletes to everyday people who use the subconscious to break limits and build greatness. In 2008, Olympic swimmer Michael Phelps broke a world record with his goggles filled with water. Sounds impossible, right? But here's what most people don't know. Every night before a race, Phelps would sit silently and visualize the perfect swim, stroke by stroke, breath by breath, and even the worst-case scenario. His coach called it the videotape, a mental movie that Phelps replayed hundreds of times. So when his goggles failed during the race, he didn't panic. He had already rehearsed it in his mind. His subconscious knew exactly what to do. That's the power of subconscious programming in action. But it's not just Olympians. Sarah Blake, a solo entrepreneur who once sold fax machines door to door, used vision boards and emotional affirmations for years, anchoring her self-worth in what didn't yet exist. Eventually, she founded Spanx, became a billionaire, and credited her success not to spreadsheets, but to a trained subconscious that refused to accept limitations. Even in everyday life, this pattern repeats. Take David, a 42-year-old teacher who used mindfulness, autosuggestion, and self-image rewiring to overcome years of public speaking anxiety. He went from stammering through staff meetings to delivering keynotes at national conferences, all because he finally trained the inner voice that was always sabotaging him. These people didn't have superpowers. They weren't born different. They just learned how to speak to the part of their mind that never sleeps. So now the final piece of the puzzle is this. You've learned the tools. You've seen the transformations. But how do you make it last? Let's talk about how to build momentum, rewire identity, and protect your subconscious progress from the noise of the world. It's easy to feel unstoppable for a week, but the real test of change is what happens when life gets noisy again. For Rachel, a freelance designer, the first 30 days of affirmations and visualization felt powerful. She felt more focused, more confident, but by day 45, the deadlines returned, the self-doubt crept in, and the momentum started to fade. This is where most people give up, not because the method doesn't work, but because they stop feeding the mind that fuels it. Think of your subconscious like a garden. You've planted new beliefs. Now you have to protect them. That starts with consistency. Even just 5 minutes a day of focused practice, affirmations, visualization, meditation keeps the soil fertile. But there's another key most people ignore: self-awareness. You need to catch the weeds early. Those old thoughts that sneak back in and whisper, "You're not good enough. This won't last. You're faking it." Every time you notice and interrupt those patterns, you're reinforcing a new identity. And finally, surround yourself with the right environment. Books, people, content, anything that echoes your new subconscious beliefs, because your mind is always listening. If you don't intentionally shape it, the world will do it for you. Rachel didn't fall back, she adjusted. She built a habit, stayed vigilant, and redesigned her digital and physical space to match her future self. And the result? She didn't just perform better. She became someone who expects greatness. So now that you've seen the map, the tools, and the transformations, let's pull it all together. Because what you're about to realize in this final moment might just be the key to becoming everything you were meant to be. So here it is. You've seen how the subconscious mind drives up to 95% of your actions, how it can quietly sabotage your efforts, or become the silent engine behind your greatest achievements. You've explored the iceberg, where the surface is your conscious thought, but the real power lies below. You've learned the tools, affirmations to install new beliefs, visualization to pre-play success until it becomes reality, meditation, hypnotherapy, NLP to rewire the operating system beneath your awareness. You've seen how Olympians, billionaires, and everyday people use these methods not to get lucky, but to reshape their identity from the inside out. And now you face a choice. You can leave this video with new knowledge, or you can begin rewiring your subconscious intentionally, repeatedly, powerfully. Because here's the truth most people never realize. You're already programming your subconscious every single day with your thoughts, your habits, your environment. The only question is, are you doing it on purpose? Peak performance doesn't start with motivation, it starts with identity. And identity lives in the subconscious. So if you're ready to unlock it, feed it, train it, protect it. Because once it's aligned with your goals, you won't need to force momentum. It will carry you. This is how the few rise above the many. This is how change becomes permanent. And this is how you activate the subconscious mind for peak performance. The subconscious isn't a mystery, it's a mirror, quietly reflecting what you feed it. And now you know how to feed it with clarity, belief, and purpose. The question is no longer, can I perform at my peak? It's, am I ready to become the version of myself that already exists within? So tell me, what's one belief you've carried for too long? Something that held you back, quietly, until now? Drop it in the comments. Your shift might just help someone else find their own. At Metanoia, we're not here to make you louder. We're here to help you feel steady in your silence. That's what Metanoia is all about. The quiet shift from knowing to becoming. And if this story lit something up inside you, like it, share it. And subscribe our channel for more stories that don't just teach. They unlock the parts of you waiting to rise. Because this isn't just self-improvement. This is self-remembrance. And your next breakthrough, it starts where no one else is looking, within you. Thanks for watching, and truly, thank you for staying.